Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be showing you a very easy DIY project that you can do with your leather scraps. So let's get right into it. So these are basically the cutouts that we're going to be using. We have the hardware, we have a long strap, we have these cutouts that you can just cut out from anything that you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be this shape. We also have this one. I'm going to be making a fringe with it later on. So these are basically the dimensions that we're going to be using. The long strap, the width for the long strap, it is dependent on the kind of hardware or the size of hardware that you are using. And I haven't put them on the lining yet. I'm going to be using this red faux leather for it because I want it to have a little bit of color pop. You can decide to use the same color for everything, but I just wanted to do mine like that. So now I've done it, and for this flower I went ahead to add a little bit of chain, and now I want to add the hardware. So I just gave a little bit, like an inch, that I did not add the lining faux leather because I wanted to be able to turn it inwards like this. Super easy. All you have to do is make whatever size that you want, whatever size you feel is appropriate, put it on the lining. If you want to put a lining, add your hardware, furnish the edges, smoothing the edges, and that is basically it. That is all, trust me. So yeah, after doing that, now I'm going to sew in just a little bit. You can as well decide not to sew and use a rivet for it. It's completely up to you. For this particular one, I actually wanted to sew, so I'm just going in to sew it. I'm going to add a little bit of meshing oil or sewing oil because I wanted it to go very smoothly, plus it was actually kind of thick. Okay, so I'm just going to run through this twice, and then I would go about a centimeter downward from this stitch and then make another stitch again. Don't forget to back stitch. It is super important so that your stitches don't come loose. And this is after the very first stitch line. You can see how it looks. At this point, you can also decide to go in with your rivet, but like I said, I am not using a rivet for this particular one I'm going to use. What should we call this thing? Should we call it a ribbon holder? I have no idea. Anyway, so I just went in with the second stitch line. Yeah, that's basically it. Don't forget to back stitch again. Now that we are done with that, please tell me that this is not easy. This is like super easy. You can actually make this to sell or just for fun or gift it out. Now let's go on to making the fringe. Now for the fringe, we are just going to mark 3/4 of an inch just as the top base. You will see what I mean later on. So after marking that, I'm also going to go ahead to mark 1/2 inch downwards from the base from the line that I just made. So this is 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to mark it across all of it because these are the lines that we are going to be using to make our fringe, the lines that we're going to be cutting to make the fringe. So don't forget, for the top one, the first one we did, it was 3/4 of an inch, and then this one is 1/2 inch. So this is what we're just going to be making across. And you can see that when I draw the line, I ensure that I do not just mark it all the way across because we are not going to be cutting it all the way across. Okay, so I'm just going to speed up this part just a little bit so that we can actually get to the interesting part. But like I said, I basically just marked 1/2 inch all the way across. Marks are the lines because these are the lines that we are going to be cutting out, and by the time I am done, I am going to cut it out here. So take your time to do this. Remember, you want your lines to be straight, okay? And you can see that I'm not cutting it all the way through. Please do not cut it all the way through. If you cut it all the way through, then you are not making a fringe. So I'm not cutting it all the way through. I am stopping at that top line. So yeah, that's basically it. And then for this very first part, we are going to, you can see how the fringe came out. Remember that I actually layered this particular one. What I mean is that I added a thick lining. You can decide to leave yours like that to make it more flexible. Anyway, so for the first one, the very first fringe, I'm just going to add a little glue because I want to make a very simple loop in case I have to add something or make a loop that anything can pass through, since I am adding into the bunch. So I just go again with the glue, and then while that is secure, just hold on. When you apply your glue, hold on for a minute or about 30 seconds just to give the glue a chance to dry up. And now I'm just going to be folding all the way through. Careful not to make the rows uneven, okay? So just try and ensure that you stay on track with everything, and then just roll very nicely, carefully. Don't be so much in a hurry. And then to seal it up, you just roll the very last one, hold for a minute so that the glue dries up, and there you have it. This is the fringe. This is how it came out. Remember, I just added the red because I wanted it to look to have a little color tint. Anyway, so I went ahead to do 3 different ones, just like the way you can see here. This one, I added a rivet and I actually sewed around it. For the black and red, I only sewed the top to hold the hardware in place. And then for the pink one, I also added a rivet. This one doesn't have any charms or anything yet, so you can try this out. It is a very, very easy project. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.